Hello ladies, gentlemen and others, my name is Dan, the voice behind that Kaito Dan, and it's that time once again, because over in Austin it is RTX season once more, and once more I'm not in attendance. But I am here to talk about everything that was discussed, revealed and shown off at this year's RWBY panel for RTX. So we got a lot to talk about, but before we get into that, I've got some news of my own to share regarding the channel and something cool happening very soon. You've noticed there's not been a lot of stuff on this channel as of late, bar gaming reactions and my recent collaboration that I did with Robin Rising, where we shared our top 10 supporting characters in RWBY, which by the way, if you haven't seen that, parts 1 and 2 on both of our channels, go and check that out, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, there is some stuff that I've been working on in the meantime to explain why it's been so long since there's been anything new posted really on the channel. And that includes the delayed part 1 review for the Justice League crossover movie, which should be coming out either next week or the week after. And also, July 18th is going to be the 10th anniversary of the first episode of RWBY. For celebrating the anniversary, I'm going to be doing some very special videos. I'm talking some countdowns, some skit videos, and maybe a little bit of reflection. And that's all I'm going to be leaving you guys in terms of teasers for new content. But yeah, sorry for the lack of content as of late, but I promise you the stuff that is in the pipeline is very exciting, and I hope you all enjoy it when it does drop. Also, in terms of something really cool, coming soon is the 3rd annual RWBY Fandom Oscars. This is the fan-made and fan-voted event hosted by myself, Klaxon, Murderer Birds, Robin Rising, many of your favorite RWBY tuber faces and content creators, where we celebrate the end of the most recent volume and hand out awards that are voted on by you guys. I had a lot of fun taking part in hosting and helping out behind the scenes on the last year's one, and we're back again to be doing it for volume 9. And at the moment we're finalizing all the nominations just so we're ready to go. So very soon you will be able to vote for this year's Oscars. Be sure to follow me, Klaxon again, Arnold, all your favorite RWBY tubers on Twitter, on our social medias and on YouTube, and we will give you guys more information on when the voting will begin very soon. So be on the lookout for that, it should be a lot of fun. But yes, now let's actually get into the main news of this whole video, the RTX stuff. In attendance for this panel was the 4 main voices of RWBY, Weiss, Blake and Yang, of course. We also had Kerry and Eddie there, we also had Laura Yates, and for the first time as well, Neef Ohm, the current voice of Ren, which was really cool because that was his first time at RTX, so I hope he's having a fantastic time and everyone in attendance as well. Merchandise, let's get into that, shall we? So, this was also teased recently and revealed as well, but there's going to be some new cosplay merch involving like Jean's Pumpkin Pete hoodie, Weiss and Salem's earrings, which look really cool, Yang's belt buckle, which is awesome. There's also going to be some more merchandise for Ice Queendom as well, so be on the lookout for all that. There's this really cool skateboard deck that is going to have the design of RWBY's falling from the Volume 9 intro that looks really sick in that, and just from that detail I would want that even though I don't skate. But also, just a special bonus offer going on right now. The digital version of RWBY Arrowfell is now 35% off. So if you want to grab it on the digital version, that's a very easy way to get that nice and cheap and have yourself a good time with it. And also something that wasn't actually shown off at the event, I believe, but was something that is being like available or like pre-ordering now. There is some new RWBY Ice Queendom plushies from Ami Ami, or at least they're being sold by Ami Ami, which you can check out there. They look really cool, especially the Yang one. And speaking of plushies, we finally got an update on the Makeship collaboration that was revealed last year at RTX, and they revealed that they are making 4 plushies, but for Team Juniper, which is a very rare thing. I can't think of the last time, if any, we've had plushies for Juniper. I think it might have been when we got the original RWBY plushies, but they look really cool, and there's also going to be some emblem charms for Team RWBY that you can get as well. But it should worth noting, with regards to Makeship, you actually need to help the item reach the minimum amount of interesting, like people who wants to buy that item for that product to be put into production. So as of this moment, there I believe 20 days until the goal shuts down, so you have to make sure that the item you want gets to that goal for it to be produced, because it is a very limited time and limited made item. So be sure to grab the one that you want and help spark up the drive so it does get produced. And they did also tease that there could be more Makeship merchandise in the future as well. So we could, you know, maybe get Team Coffee plushies. That would be cool. There's also some more figures from You Choose, with Weiss and Yang getting their own figures now after Ruby and Blake got theirs. And these two will be coming out in November. And now we move on to some really cool stuff for Volume 9. And that is starting off with the Blu-ray and digital release of the volume, which is going to be October 3rd. And not only that, we also heard that the Volume 9 OST is going to be on all streaming platforms this July 28th to be exact, and it's going to include 44 tracks. So that's all the vocal songs that we heard, and also all the episode scores as well. That's a lot of tracks, and spoiler alert for like any point when I do the Volume 9 review, I really love the music this volume, especially the vocal songs, so I cannot wait to get that this month, which was a surprise. I did not expect it to be coming so soon. Moving on now to talking about the DC and RWBY collaboration stuff of things. The trade paperback, including all 7 issues of the current DC and RWBY comic, will be available on the 5th of September, and you can pre-order your copy right now. And this of course means that we need to talk about the DC Justice League and RWBY crossover movie. And right now we have part 1 already out on the home release, but it will soon be coming for Max on streaming on the 24th of this month as well. So we got a lot of RWBY stuff this month as well in terms of the OST and streaming for this part 1. And again, be on the lookout for my review, which should be coming out within the next 2 weeks. But this of course means we need to ask now, what about part 2? Well, we don't have a date just yet, but we do know that it is going to be coming out later this year in the fall. And as a little bonus, we got ourselves a first sneak peek image from that part of the film. And this time, it's the RWBY girls in the world of DC superheroes. And we see here with Yang alongside Vixen, Wonder Woman, who were of course in part 1 but were shrunk down as teens, and now they're back in their regular forms. But this time they are also joined by Black Canary, who wasn't in part 1, so this confirms not only that we're going to be going to the world of DC superheroes, but we're also going to be seeing some new characters as well. So that's really cool, and so is Yang's new look. She has got herself a new drip to suit herself being, I guess, more of a superhero in this world rather than a huntress, and I really like it. She's also got like her combat skirt introduction now. Obviously only Weiss and RWBY had a combat skirt in the team, so that's cool that she's now a part of that clique. And also Ponytail Yang, we love that look here and it looks awesome here. And so too does the muscles, which I know a lot of people are loving. The fact that Yang has muscles on her model now, which is something really cool, and hopefully that is something that they can bring into the future for RWBY, because I know a lot of people would like to see more muscle definition and more accurate like looks and physiques to the characters, which is really cool. But yeah, I'm very excited for part 2. I'll talk more about my feelings on part 1 in the future. I really did enjoy it though, and I'm very eager to see what part 2 is like, especially with it now having the RWBY girls and more, hopefully, in the superhero world, which should be a lot of fun. Yeah, also quickly into the Q&A session, which was a lot of the usual kind of more fun kind of questions, not a lot of serious stuff, but something that was really cool is we finally got birthday dates for Team Juniper. This is something that a lot of us have been demanding for a while now, especially with Team RWBY getting their birthday dates revealed. And yeah, I'll just quickly go over them. So Jean, his birthday is March the 2nd, which I don't believe has any real notable link found. I don't think there was one mentioned, though apparently Barbara did say that him being a Pisces kind of tracks. I don't know if that's supposed to be a good thing or a bad thing, but hey, we finally know Vomit Boy's birthday. And then there's Nora, whose birthday is June the 5th, which is apparently the same date as Thor from the Marvel Comics, his first appearance in any Marvel comics. So that's really cool, that nice little tie-in there to obviously one other version of the same illusion that Nora has. And speaking of illusion references, Hera's birthday is April 24th, which is the Greek name day for her illusion and inspiration, Achilles. And it is also Miles' birthday, so even there we have ourselves an Arcos link. But the best reference is easily Ren's birthday being June 22nd, which is of course Monty's birthday. I think that is just an absolutely perfect tribute and a perfect way to add in a bit more of Monty's personal touch to Ren even now, which is especially poignant for, again, the 10th anniversary of this series coming up. And speaking of the magical number 10, this is where we need to talk about the elephant in the room, any information regarding Volume 10. And a lot of us were wondering if we were going to hear anything in terms of like a greenlit for Volume 10, or maybe some sneak previews or something on this volume that we don't really know when, if it's going to be made anytime soon. And they did actually stress this right at the start, so they didn't like mince around or dance around it, but yeah. As of this moment, Volume 10 is not currently greenlit, which is a real shame. But Kerry and the others did stress that they are working on it where they can, despite this. The writers are doing everything they can on their part, I'm sure, like to try and get an early head start on things, so when they do get that green light, they can go immediately into everything else without having to start from scratch that then and there. And this for me was expected. I wasn't too hopeful for a green light just yet for many reasons. Firstly, there's a lot of RWBY members who had worked on the series either long term or short term that are currently not at Rooster Teeth anymore. Their contracts ran out and all that, so the RWBY is a bit thin right now. So even if it was greenlit, I don't think they would be able to do a lot of things right now until they start to bulk up that RWBY side of things. And then there's also Warner Brothers. There's a lot of dispute and a lot of hostility and a lot of mixed feelings on the company, which is again branched under to Rooster Teeth, so that's the connection there. And it is unfortunate. I do think that has a major impact again, because it's like they're the ones who probably has the biggest pulse on whether or not this does get greenlit. There's also Rooster Teeth working on other projects. They revealed today as well that they are working on the final season of Red vs. Blue, and new episodes of Camp will be coming early next year as well. So there's a lot of animated stuff going on at Rooster Teeth beyond RWBY, so I imagine that's taken up a lot of work there, even if a lot of it is already done. And it's also not that long since we had Volume 9, so while there's been instances in the past where we've had the green light already by the time one season's already done, I think there's a lot of contributing factors that kind of like are in the way right now, beyond certain people feeling that there's not an immediate high demand for it, which I can absolutely disagree with you. There is a high demand for the rest of this series to continue, and just because it wasn't greenlit now doesn't mean that it can't be greenlit at any other time. It can be revealed at any of the other cons that RWBY likes to make a presence, like San Diego Comic-Con or New York Comic-Con, any other Comic-Con stuff, or it doesn't even need a Comic-Con to be announced. It could be revealed online at any point, or just in general. So it's not like it has to be at RTX for them to announce this. This can happen at any point. So yeah, this was unfortunate, but I do have a lot of faith that RWBY will get greenlit at some point. It's just there's a lot of contributing factors that needs to be dealt with first, which I will talk about at the end. But there was one positive treat for those in attendance, and they got to see the raw epilogue that wasn't added or wasn't produced for the end of Volume 9, as they decided to add it into Volume 10's production. They did stress that some of it would be changed in the final product. A lot of scenes that they were going to have in that epilogue were cut, or they're just not finished. It was very raw, and I'm not going to show it because I don't know if that's kind of in that legal green area I can really do, or at least in terms of like copyright or getting strikes, so I'm not going to post it here, but it's out there on certain sites for you to watch from people who recorded it and showed it. That's all I'm going to say. And I have seen it, and I was, like many people in attendance, very emotional. It is a very emotional scene with some very entertaining and very emotional dialogues being shared, especially from certain characters that we would like to see in this kind of scenario. And that's all I can really say without like stressing it. I probably will at some point, and hopefully they will show this to the public as well. They haven't as of recording, but yeah, I did see it, and it was very, very emotional, and I would like to see the final product hopefully in Volume 10, because it would be the perfect way to start off that particular volume. And yeah, it sucks that we didn't get the green light in this panel. If anything, a lot of this stuff, like all the stuff on the Justice League movie, the merchandise, and especially that epilogue showcase, really kind of sparked the fire in me to really see this continue, this story see its continuation and its climax on its own terms. And really, that's the best way that we can show our support now. We've been pushing this hashtag of Greenlight Volume 10 for so long now, and right now we really need to do all of that and more. The best way to really show the certain people that has the pulse on the trigger that there is a demand for this series to continue and reach its full potential and full ending is to support it officially through buying the Blu-rays, the OST, the merchandise, all the different side material as well. Money does talk, and people will listen that way as much as they will hear all the hashtags and the tweets and the videos. I mean, at the end of the panel, up on the screen, they showcase the hashtag Greenlight Volume 10. That shows that the RWBY, Rooster Teeth, they have heard our voices for this series to continue. They want it as well, but we need to make sure that the right people do hear our voice, and that's what I want to end this video with. Not all the talks about being upset that Volume 10 hasn't been greenlit yet, or all the talk about the merchandise and stuff, which is real cool, like all the merchandise and the movies and stuff like that. That's fun, and that's really cool, and I am going to be interested and excited for it. But I want to end this video by stressing to all of you to really put in your fire and your energy and really, really push this Greenlight Volume 10 movement. Use your hashtags, use your tweets, use your videos, support officially through buying the official products and supporting that way. Money talks again, and so do all our voices online. People will listen. We just need to make sure that they listen hard enough and we get that green light. And I do think it will happen. It's just going to take a bit more pushing from us, and I know that we can do it. So yeah, I'm excited for all this new stuff that we got in terms of the crossover movies, the merchandise. All that stuff is really fun, and I really did love the epilogue that was shown off. I hope they do release it officially, but yeah, that's the final note that I want to stress. Please, 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 to all RWBY fans watching this video, please push for this Volume 10 Greenlight movement, for the whole series to be greenlit, to see its true conclusion on its terms. Share all the messages that you can around to make sure that Warner Brothers, Crunchyroll, Rooster Teeth, anyone who can have an impact on this series' future, do listen. Please make sure that they hear our voice. And yeah, I just hope that we do finally get that moment where we can sit down once again and enjoy some RWBY goodness. And yeah, that's the note I'm going to end on. So thank you guys for tuning in. I know this was a bit of a ramble, but hey, that's what happens with these videos sometimes, especially this one. But until next time, have a good day or good night, and peace out.